lot of us make some stupid mistakes when we're young, but not all of them get us into jail. Well, John Nelson is here to talk about some of your mistakes that did land you in jail and get you a cute little nickname from the police. What was that nickname?
Bookstore Bandit.
Okay, and how did you earn that title?
That was a combination of the LAPD robbery detectives and the FBI, who love to give out nicknames. Usually Bandit is attached. And I had been robbing some bookstores and graduated to banks, and that's when the FBI got involved and the moniker stuck.
Did you start this because you didn't have money and you just thought this is a quick way to make money, or how did you come about getting into this career path?
I basically started because I was 23 years old, ethically spoiled, and I thought that rules didn't apply to me. And I wanted some quick money. I knew how to get it, and I did. And it was a terrible, terrible mistake.
Why do you say you were ethically spoiled, and what does that mean exactly?
For me, by the time I got to age 23, I had developed some juvenile traits that turned into teenage habits that became my adult character. And I thought the rules didn't apply to me. And that came from basically growing up in an environment where I was relatively privileged household. Parents were working, gone a lot. And I used that to my advantage, manipulating my folks to get out of being grounded, to get out of punishments, homework, chores, and through a number of successive years, that eventually turned into the consequences don't apply to me. And so when I made the decision to commit a crime, I went all the way, and I went all the way with regards to my ethical failings.
Well, what was that first time you decided to commit the crime? Was it just that, you know, I'm smarter than them, I'm going to get away with it? Or what made you finally decide, I'm going to
Were you nervous about it?
Yeah.
I wasn't, honestly.
You weren't?
No.
You were just like, nah, I can do this.
I had so overthought and over-rationalized my decision to do it that I walked in and very politely asked for the cash in the register. I had pulled my t-shirt tight behind my back to reveal the outline of what was a fake nickel-plated 38. No, it was a movie prop. And it had formerly been a paperweight on my refrigerator. Oh my gosh. And when the wheel started turning, it became part of what I used.
Was you a thrill to doing this, or did you feel how did you feel afterwards? Did you think, well, this was kind of fun and exciting, and or was it kind of like, oh God, why did I do that? That was terrible. Or was it just like, whatever, on to the next thing?
No, it was a rush. From the beginning, yeah.
Did you ever think that like that person was scared? I mean, did you ever feel for the person behind the desk?
I did, and I tried to compensate for that by being as polite as I could, which was kind of crazy in itself to begin with.
So you did several years. You were in prison for several years.
Correct, 4 years.
4 years. And so do you feel now in an odd way that, because now you're a role model, you're out there, you write your book, you're telling people about this, trying to change their lives. Do you feel in an odd way it was kind of good that this happened to you so that you could go on to be this role model? Or do you think that it would have been better had you never started this career path and you had just gone your own life the way it was going to go without the robberies?
Unfortunately, prison was the first thing that I ever started and finished. So from the very beginning, it could only get better for me. Right. Because I had to prove to myself and prove to people that didn't let go of the rope and that were supportive, that I could account for myself and grow up. And that's exactly what happened through that 4-year period of time.
Now, there are people like Steven Pinker out there who talks about genetics versus environment. And he says that genetics are maybe 70% of a person's character and belief system. But you don't think that's true, do you?
I absolutely disagree
Your
with
family, they don't have any predispositions towards crime or towards...
I came from a regular middle-class background. Mom's a teacher, Dad works in the entertainment industry, grew up here in Los Angeles.
What do they think now?
I think they're pretty nervous about the book.
Yeah, so you have this book coming out this September.
Do you talk about them in the book?
Go to die.
Sure.
And it's coming out. What advice do you have for kids your age, probably in your same situation?
You know what? I wouldn't try to necessarily inject any young person's life with advice as I see it. I want to talk to the parents. I want to say, don't be a friend, be a parent. Follow through with punishments, follow through with homework, follow through with chores. Don't worry about being popular with your kids, because not following through on these things is only going to create a sense of, well, the consequences don't really matter. And that gets worse and worse and worse as you get older.
So are they nervous that they're going to mess up again and not know how to kind of control you, or are they nervous that you might do the same thing again?
Do you mean my parents?
Yes, your
Oh,
parents.
no, they're petrified as to how they might be represented.
And they
in the
haven't read the
book,
book
okay.
yet?
No.
Oh, wow. And what, you don't want them to read the book yet?
They will very shortly, very soon, right before the book is released.
Do you think
on
they're going to be
September 12th.
pleased with how they're represented?
Yes, I do.
They'll
I
be
do.
pleased. All
Yes.
right.
I'm very confident that they will breathe a sigh of relief.
Well,
That's
I'm
good.
very excited to read this book too, and thank you for writing your thoughts down, because I think it will be an eye-opener for a lot of parents and probably also some youth out there, you know, doing the same thing and thinking they can get away with it.
Well, thank you very much.
So thank you so much for being here, and you can get the book Where Excuses Go to Die coming out in September of this year. We'll be back with Every Way Woman.